Okay, guys. So now I'm making a video talking about my my cleaning solution my cleaning solution for SHTF basically for guns. And I found I found that the WD-40 does do a good job. I've used WD-40 on guns before to clean them and everything and oil, and it does a real good job. But I found that this actually kind of works a little better. Mineral spirits. You can buy this down at Walmart for like 18 bucks. And so I'm just gonna pour some in this clear glass right here. It has a smell to it, believe me. I'm gonna pour it back in there, so don't think I'm just wasting all this. I'm not. I'm gonna pour it right back in this thing. But it has a rather strong smell to it. Uh, Now, I shot. I just put in this clear McDonald's glass because I really don't want to waste it. I don't want to put it in a clear house glass. So I took my Springfield Hellcat. I put a whole grip on it, by the way, and that helps me not have so much twitch to the right and left. So it helps me get better accuracy with the thing. I already dropped the magazine, cleared it, checked it, and I kind of opened it up, looked at it, but I hadn't cleaned it. I want you to see the results for this yourself. I didn't make this a two-part video. You're just gonna have to trust me. But I'll show you how I did this to do this video. So basically, if you know how to break down a Hellcat, basically you just pull it back, lock it in. You just pull it back, lock it in like that, and then you just take and you this little piece up front here, take it and you just roll it forward, roll it up like in that up position like that. Just roll it up position like that. Then you let this drop back forward. I don't want to let it drop back forward too hard without a gun in it, without a thing in there. Then you just pull the trigger, and once you do that, you're able to slide it right on off. And so I was a bit surprised with the results. A bit surprised with how it seems to protect it very well. Still very oily. Still very good and oily. And the only thing I noticed that I kind of didn't really like too well, because all this part here looks really good, and this is something I kind of noticed I didn't like. I'm gonna use some regular gun patches here in a minute. Something I noticed I didn't like was right there on that feed ramp. Notice that got a little bit dirtier than probably what I'd like for 100 rounds. This is all it's shot through. It's 100 rounds. You can see how dirty that got. I'm gonna go ahead and run a clean bore down through here, but let's see, sort of protected it though. Don't look like it caused any damage. So I can tell you that about it. So I'm just going to run a clean board pack. I'm just going to run this down through the board. We'll see how dirty this thing gets when I pull it out the other side. I just take a screwdriver, push that little piece of patch right on through there. See how dirty it got. Seems it'll stay pretty clean down that part. Let's see here. Well, we'll see. It don't look like it got awful dirty down the board part. The board looks pretty clean. I'll let you see. I mean, as you can see, that's how I got out of the bore of the gun, is just that little piece. For some reason, dropping that mineral spirit solution, that'll get a lot cleaner. But I so happen to have a bore light here. I'm hoping that I can let you kind of see. Maybe you can, without messing it up, hoping that I can kind of do this in a way that you can kind of see about it. Well, maybe you can't. Well, maybe you can. But anyway, I'm actually surprised at how clean this stuff gets this thing. It gets it very, very, very clean. This mineral spirits does. And this is 300 rounds I've shot through this gun so far. And I haven't had any I haven't had any malfunction or anything. It's all been working great. Shot 2 different kinds of ammunition through it so far. Some Remington El Cheapo stuff, and then some better solution too. Oh, come on now. I might have to pour a little bit more up in there to get over up that bore on top of that thing. That's no big deal. I'll just pour some more on up in there. And what are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? I don't want to get this on you. So you just take it and put it down in your thing, let it soak. Then I also just use this to kind of wipe. Use just plain old napkins to wipe the rest of the thing off. These are just, well, they're not really napkins, they're paper towels. Just kind of wipe some of the excess of this stuff off. Like I said, this stuff does smell a little rough. If you got a garage or something like that, or if you just want to step out on the porch and do this, you know, it'd probably be better. I'm just doing it inside because there's just so much stuff outside that's too hard to make a video. Every time I try to make a video on the outside, it's just noise and so on and so forth or something. But you can see it's getting this a little bit dirty. I noticed that it did leave it a little bit dirty, so I'm going to use a Q-tip. See? I don't know if you can see how dirty that got, but that did get that a little bit dirty. So that's kind of the purpose, the reason why people don't use, like using thicker oils like the transmission fluid, is because of that reason. It has a tendency to kind of hold gunpowder, and some people just say that they don't like that because of that reason. However, though, it does prevent corrosion, it does prevent rust, and despite the fact what some people might say, it does do that just fine. You just might want to break it down and kind of clean it just a little bit sooner. You know, it's not like the end of the world is, you know, the world's come to an end just because you can't get gun oil. Gun oils are pretty much, let's put it this way, there's pretty much $1 billion industry just trying to sell people gun oils to protect guns. Some ways might even be just about a bigger thing, selling all the gun oils and the holsters and the concealed carry height and all this and that. Some ways, it's actually just a bit more of a sales thing than doing selling the gun itself. People, they sell the gun, but then they turn around and make a lot more money just selling the bullets, and then they sell after they sell the gun, they turn around and say that the gun manufacturer, they turn around and sell you the bullets, and they try to turn around and sell you the new edition of the gun, and like they got a Hellcat Pro, and they got a Hellcat with the you know, red dot sight on top of it. You know, there's quite a few of these things. Anyway. And that's really the truth. It's great big hype. It's great. It really is. It's great big hype of stuff. And now you can kind of see how kind of dirty that paper towel got. It got pretty dirty in there. That's kind of the downfall to using this kind of oil, as it does get it kind of dirty a little quicker and a little sooner than a standard gun oil would. Alright, the take down spring. Just gonna wipe it down. Let's see how it comes out. Probably pretty dirty. I bet. Let's see here. Just gonna take and wipe it down. Actually, it stayed pretty clean. And down here on the bottom, I'm just gonna kind of take a toothbrush. I'm just gonna kind of brush it off. I'm just gonna kind of clean it off. I'm gonna kind of brush it out. Make sure I get it all cleaned up very good. And I'm going to use just a little bit of, I keep dipping this down in that mineral spirits, by the way. Just use a little mineral spirits right here to clean up around these certain areas I want cleaned up. So I'll just take a little mineral spirits, kind of clean up around the slides a little bit. Just a little bit, clean up around the slides. These are the slides. It's got some rather good thick slides to the Hellcat, and I'm gonna kind of clean up small areas that I want cleaned up. And this just gets rid of the powder, dissolves it. It's going to dissolve all the powders off the gun. Going to dissolve all that stuff. All these. I'm just going to dissolve. Yeah, like I said, I'm just going to dissolve all these off the gun. You can see that's more powder. That's pretty bad. That's actually quite a lot of powder. That's really the sole reason why people don't like using these kind of oils on their gun, is because of that. But I'll show you how I re-lube this thing up. And this mineral spirits is an amazingly good bore cleaner. It does really, really good. Let's see here. Oh yeah, now I'll just take my brush again, and I just kind of want to clean in here and just kind of get rid of any kind of heavy particles. Just take my toothbrush, see how dirty my toothbrush is. Just kind of clean up any kind of particles basically in there. That's all cleaned up, and I just am going to start getting my my transmission fluid ready. Take the cap off the transmission fluid, and now I'm just going to basically fill the top. I'm just going to basically fill the lid of the transmission fluid up, not spilling it everywhere. And I'm just going to use the lid. But first thing, before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and open this guy back up, mineral spirits. Now, I gotta try to keep this clean, and I'm just going to kind of take and I'm going to kind of pour it back in there real quick. You're probably thinking about this point in time, you're probably thinking this guy's kind of lost his mind. No, actually, like I said, I've been talking kind of insanely about maybe making a law saying that you won't be able to clean your own guns. And should the day come where we have the full-blown SHTF, you're going to need a way to have your guns cleaned. You're going to need a way to keep your guns clean and lubricated. Now I'm just going to run my patch. I'm just going to run this thing right here through it. That'll kind of get rid of all the stuff in there. I just wish that I could make it so you could see down inside that bore how clean that is. How clean this gets this bore. It's amazing how clean it gets this bore. Now I'm just going to run some regular patches through that. This stuff dries really quick too, buddy. Come on now. Yeah, I got some regular patches right here. I'll run some regular patches down through that real quick. If I can get them kind of work with me a little bit, they just want to be a pain in the butt for some reason. You can work with me a little bit. Hold on a minute. Should have had this stuff kind of laid out, I guess, but oh well, that's part of making a video. You just don't have all that stuff laid out when you need it to be. So I'm just going to take these little patches right here, and I think I got a little bit left down in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and soak that on up with the patch. I'm just going to soak that up with the patch real quick. Now that patch is soaking wet. Got a little bit on the table too. So now I'm just going to run this down through there with basically a stovepipe thing, and we're just going to run that down through there. You can see how clean that gets that. It's very, very clean. Like I said, this does a really, really good job of cleaning your bore. And then basically the other oil, the reason why it's so black powder is because the other oil, like I said before, it's a little bit thick for this kind of thing. Your gun, generally gun oils aren't as thick for a reason, because they basically because so that the powder won't be so thick inside your bore, basically, and that's pretty much the only reason why it's like that. So if you can see inside that bore, I think maybe you can, actually you can a little bit. See how clean that bore is inside? It's an amazing clean. Dries very, very fast too. And see how clean it got that slide right there. Got all this stuff all cleaned up. Inside here it's all cleaned up now, dried up, ready to go. And what I'll do is I'll just take and take one of these little patches. I'll put I dip it down in some of well, not really. I guess I am doing it that way. I wasn't going to, but oh well. Now I just take it and I run a patch down through here of the transmission fluid a few times, just a few times to make sure we get it nice and soaking the wet. You want it wet, and then you want to take it and turn around and get a little bit drier. You don't want to leave it. You don't want to leave it like that. Make sure you get it nice and wet with this lubrication. And I know they got it wet. Yeah, they got it nice and wet. And it does kind of take all that coloring off of that. It does kind of take all the oil off the thing, though. It really does rip off, take off all the oil, everything else. And now I'm just taking it around, wipe it around, and I want to just take and wipe off some of the excess oil off the barrel. I just want to take and wipe some of the excess oil off the barrel real quick. And once I do that, I'm good. Take and wipe it off the barrel. Just kind of get it off the slide a little bit. You don't want too much. You want oil, but you don't want too much oil. You just want to kind of get it lubricated enough. You don't want to overdo it. And is that clean enough for my blood? Yeah, I got a little bit of run a patch down through there. I pretty much can save my patches a lot for other kind of reasons. And you can use, like I say, a t-shirt patch. You don't have to. You can use t-shirt. You can take old t-shirts and old t-shirts, not new t-shirts, and you can just go ahead and make patches out of them if you want to. And I'm just going to go ahead and rub that on down through there so it's not too wet. And that ain't too wet. And can you possibly see? Let me just hold that straight up in front of that eye. Let's see if I can. Yeah. I don't know if you can see, it's really shiny and clean in there. No powder left there. But like I said, you can see I wasn't really pleased with the results of the black, how black it got. But it does amazingly good job. I knew, well, transmission fluid, we've taken transmissions apart before, and I'm just putting this stuff on the slides in this areas that needs to be. I'm just putting it like down in the slides. And just then kind of moving metal pieces, maybe. Just some places where a little bit of metal is at. Putting a little bit on the metal parts. There. Right on the slides. Just going to take and put some right down here in the bottom. Some people actually can overdo the oil, you know. That's something you don't want to do. Now I'm just going to come along. I'm just going to come along. I'm going to wipe inside that little slide reel. I'm going to wipe inside the slide reel again, right there. I'm going to wipe inside the slide reel again, right there. I'm going to and that just keeps it. That just makes it so that when it's moving, it's not having metal to metal contact. Then I'm going to use a straw as a dripper actually. I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to use it to kind of drip right back down in that firing pin area. I like putting some right in there. Right back here in your firing pin area, there's a little place right back there. It's basically a part that smacks your firing pin, and I like putting some oil down there to kind of lubricate it. The place you don't want to get oil pretty much is right in this area right here. You pretty much don't want to get oil right in there. Kind of wipe some of this off. Yeah, you just want to make sure that's clean in that area. And right there in that gap, right there, that's kind of where you don't want oil at. Because if you get too much oil right in there, it won't extract your bullets. So make sure you don't get too much oil right in that area. you just want to make sure it's not there. And let's see what else. I think I can pretty much start reassembling this thing. So make sure I got enough oil in there. That's oil pretty good, let's put it that way. And I got oil down here. I want to take another little drop, a little area back here, right back here. That's where the springs are. I like getting down to the springs. And other than that, that's pretty much a done job. Let's see, what happened to that little, all this stuff right here. There it is. I can wipe this down with a little bit of oil, clean fresh oil. Just gonna wipe down my spring. I like to kind of make sure it's clean too, and then clean but not overruled. That's pretty much the rule. Clean but not overruled. Put some of that oil right out there. Just wipe a little oil out of there. Make sure it's not too oily. Okay. Some people say, "Oh my God, those things leave lint." So, lint doesn't hurt a gun. Trust me, lint doesn't hurt a gun. Believe me, it does not hurt a gun. It's BS. Okay, so let's see. I gotta fold this thing here back up, and other than that, it's pretty much done. But I'll give you an idea of how dirty this thing got with just doing that. Waiting on reassembly. This. Now check it. Now we'll do it again. Check it. I'll do it again. Check it. So it's good. And yeah, some people say that hurts a gun. That doesn't hurt a gun. I'll admit, some people say that paper towels hurt guns. It don't hurt guns. You know why I'm at it? Just to kind of add a little bit of, make sure I'm keeping the outside coloration of the gun up. Just wiping it down real quickly with some, just a tad bit of transmission fluid. And only thing I did notice that this stuff did was kind of splatter out on my hands a little bit. I had a little bit of a splatter on me from where I was shooting the gun, and that was about it. But as for anything else, I mean, nah, it doesn't hurt the gun. Doesn't hurt the gun at all. I mean, the gun doesn't have no trouble at all with basically that stuff. I mean, how dirty that got. But yeah, there's some powder on there. I mean, this might. This don't really leave no real oily residue. The transmission fluid don't leave a real oily residue, so I'm not really worried about it. But as you can see, yeah, it does protect it. Doesn't seem to have no trouble, but you know, it is a bit oily. Now, any kind of excess oil you got, transmission oil, don't waste a bit of this stuff. Just take it, pour it back in here, put the cap back on till next time, and there you go. You got 40 years worth of. You got 40 years worth of gun oil right there. But like I said, the only thing I did notice from my little experiment was it basically was a little bit more powder in there, this burnt spent powder that I didn't like. But other than that, it does great. It does great. No excess wear, no nothing like that on the gun. I mean, that's just the way, that was my opinion of it anyway. Anyway, take it easy, be good at it, and you kind of get an idea of how to do that. That's clean oil on a gun with transmission fluid. Back here, they got actually something out there if you want to check into it. You can actually look into something called Edge Red. And Edge Red, in my opinion, this doesn't have enough transmission fluid in it. If I was going to do Edge Red, I'd probably add a little bit more transmission fluid to it, and that's basically a homemade CLP. But you can look into Edge Red if you want to, and what makes it red is the transmission fluid. So anyway, be good at it, and see you on the next one.